Do you want to debunk any rumors?
I'm not gay.
I don't know any rumors.
I'm not gay, guys.
Oh,
no, okay, enough with the gay.
Why is it that after Lara came out, some icons think they're entitled to know what each member's sexualities are?
I just know that if Lara were to date a man, people would be
livid.
Everyone wants them to be queer so bad, but that's also a bad thing. Assigning a sexuality to them is extremely wrong. And what's even worse is attacking them and their boyfriends for not fitting your fantasy.
Someone said these lesbians.
Guys. Or like people saying that we queer baited at Lollapalooza.
That got you?
No, that didn't get to me, but I'm just saying it was the weirdest.
We're going to be talking about one girl group in particular who I believe is honestly on their way to becoming one of the biggest girl groups in this day and age, and that group is no other than Catseye. But today we're not going to be doing a deep dive into every single member specifically, but instead we're going to be deep diving into their very parasocial fan base known as the Icons.
Y'all niggas are fucking everywhere. Like, I don't want to share this with y'all. I'm sorry, I don't.
Because the parasocial behavior of some of the icons has even led to 2 out of 6 members coming out and identifying as a part of the LGBTQ community, and that has left me to wonder, was it because they felt pressured by their own fan base? And following these announcements, I'm starting to wonder, is Catseye only leveraging the LGBTQ community to gain more attention, or is it simply about breaking barriers as a global girl group that often gets compared to K-pop groups who honestly have a very strict rule book when it comes to their image? We're gonna get into all of that. Let's get into today's video. Hi, what's up? Hello YouTube, welcome and welcome back to my channel. My name is Melinda, and if this is your first time stumbling upon my channel or seeing my face, welcome. Feel free to hit that subscribe button down below and join this community. We are currently on the road to 2,000 subscribers, but by all means, you can make that decision at the very end of this video. With all that being said, today, like I mentioned earlier, we're going to be deep diving into Catseye's fan base known as the Icons, because some of y'all, okay, I will not put you all in the same box, but some of you guys are incredibly parasocial and it's getting a little bit out of hand. And I even made an entire video talking about parasocial behavior because, as we know, in this day and age, for some reason, content creators, influencers, and even artists are now prioritizing relatability, and that has just completely caused the erasure of mystery and boundaries between the fan and the creator. So if you're interested in seeing what I had to say in that video, definitely go and check it out. It'll be in the description or somewhere on the screen. But just in case you haven't had the privilege yet of being flooded by Catseye all over your timeline, I'm gonna give you guys a quick 5 minutes to pause this video right here.
5 minutes later.
And do a doom scroll and check them out. But just in case you don't feel like doing all of that, I will of course give you guys the rundown on who Catseye is and how their group was created. Catseye is not a K-pop group. They are actually a global girl group under the fusion of 2 record labels. One is HYBE, which is a South Korean record label, and the other is Geffen Records, which is based in the US. They are a global group comprised of many different ethnicities and cultures, but the formation of Catseye was basically a giant audition, and it's on Netflix, you guys. It's called Dream Academy. I definitely encourage every single one of you to go and watch it, even if you don't know anything about dancing and singing. It's just very intense and interesting to see what these girls had to go through and all the pressure that was put onto them being a part of that process. The show even sparked a bit of controversy because allegedly the girls were not made aware that they would be going into a survival show concept where they would be competing against one another in these little groups doing these things called missions, where they would perform songs and basically fan voting would decide who gets to stay and who has to leave. So through this entire process, you guys, the intense ranking system of their skill sets and the elimination rounds, we were left with 6 girls, and those girls became Catseye that we know today. But now that I gave you guys a pretty good idea of who Catseye is, we really need to talk about their very parasocial fan base, because some of you don't know boundaries, some of you are extremely entitled, and some of you guys really need to go outside, touch grass, and also maybe develop a new hobby. Because what do you mean you're sitting at home speculating, making assumptions, and making rumors about these girls and trying to know every single detail about their personal lives, their personal love lives, how they identify, what their sexual orientations are, and demanding answers for all of these things? What are we actually doing?
This comment reads, so many icons are only interested in Catseye because of their sexualities, and it's odd.
I think it's just getting really out of hand, and it's kind of crazy that we live in a day and age now where people truly feel the need to know every single thing about their idols, and it's just almost like if they don't know what to do with themselves. And people are really just at home making their own scenarios, and it's even gotten to a point now where some of the icons are trying to ship members together, saying things like, I think that Lara and Manon would be a cute couple, or that Manon and Megan look like a 90s K-drama couple, or even captioning gay side mentality on a video of the girls quite literally just having fun like any other group of friends would, or even saying that they ship the straightest in the whole group simply for making eye contact on stage. You guys, these girls are a sisterhood. They're best friends. Why are we trying to ship them romantically? It's not making sense. Just because you see a couple clips of these girls interacting and they're sitting down and admiring one another, that does not mean they're secretly in love and they're planning to elope and get married. Like, you guys, this actually needs to stop. I can only imagine how uncomfortable that may make them, and I think you guys just forget sometimes that these are real people that you guys are talking about, and it's just not fair of you guys to try and put labels on any of these girls based on whatever you have seen or whatever observation you've made.
Katseye is also a very young group, the youngest being 17 and the oldest being 23, and so their fans are naturally very young as well.
And obviously some young people may not really understand the concept of boundaries. I'm sure when a lot of us were young preteens, we wanted to know every single detail about our favorite singers, and we wanted to be able to relate with them in any way possible, so I can understand that. Their fan base has just increasingly become a little bit more parasocial, and that has quite literally led to 2 out of 6 members needing to come out and disclose that they are a part of the LGBTQ community. Lara did sort of explain this on her own timing, saying, I knew I was half fruitcake when I was like 8, so I was really wanting everybody.
Some fans even found an old screenshot of her admitting this back in 2021,
and Megan was later seen with Lara in a video telling the world that she identifies as bisexual.
Happy Pride Month.
Yeah! Oh, thank you, Megan! You too!
Let's do it. 1, 2, 3. Guys, I'm coming out. I'm bisexual.
And a lot of people were wondering, did they only come out and say this because the fans have just been extremely demanding about it, pretty much pressuring them to come out with this information to the point where they probably just felt really suffocated with all the questions and they just had no choice but to address it? I think that is definitely what occurred.
and this is not me saying that they should have kept it hidden from the world as if they were ashamed, but the entitlement and the pressure from their fans definitely made them feel compelled to share.
And a lot of people felt really bad for Megan specifically because she had went through a lot of pressure from certain icons. She was even caught in a live feeling extremely uncomfortable for people constantly asking her questions about it.
Why is everyone asking if I am?
To the point where eventually she literally just fell to the pressure, you guys, and just had to disclose that information.
I do want to ask Laura and Megan, because you both came out recently as queer and bisexual, what does that mean to you to be able to be so open, and did you plan to come out the way you did? Tell me.
I feel like a lot of people have been like kind of asking and like spectating, especially with like me. So I just decided to do it.
And this may be an unpopular opinion, you guys, but I don't see why we need to put so much importance on what these girls identify as versus just them as a girl group and their art. Why are we not speculating about future projects that we'd like to see?
If only some icons knew that Catseye would love to remind them that they are still normal people with personal lives at the end of the day, and sometimes the assumptions can be a little bit too much.
They're not on the right timeline, and then also like assuming things and then wanting to know so much about our sexuality and things of that nature. Like,
and we understand the curiosity and, you know, like the admiration and all that stuff, but at the end of the day, like just like everybody else, like we're people with lives as well. Like we have Catseye and all of that that comes with it, but we also like, you know, have lives, our personal lives.
I understand that we live in a day and age now where everyone wants to feel represented. People are looking for representation in different ways, in different forms.
And although Catseye isn't a K-pop group, they're still very immersed in that world. And K-pop groups are known for having a more strict rule book when it comes to their image and what they're allowed to share. And so some fans are hoping that Catseye's freedom can change things in the K-pop industry.
Megan and Laura coming out from the group Catseye, I think is going to have some really needed and exciting ripple effects in the K-pop industry. Of course, they're not K-pop, but their company is partly K-pop. And because K-pop is super conservative, with people going through K-pop training but being able to be really free, even just like having Yoonchae be able to not have to conform to like the typical K-pop body standards, I think it's going to have progressive young people crave more of this authenticity of self.
And I get it that if you're a part of the LGBTQ community, seeing 2 members of a girl group as big as Catseye is becoming, openly expressing themselves and talking about it can feel very heartwarming and very welcoming.
So many like brown girls were saying like, I have the strength now to come out to my parents. I forgot, I think, how like impactful that is and how impactful like living your truth is.
But again, expecting or wanting all 6 of them to be LGBTQ is borderline obsessive. This comment says, why are their fans so obsessed with their sexuality? And it has 25,000 likes. And another with 15,000 likes saying they really need to leave the girls' sexualities alone. It's getting tired.
And so because Lara and Megan came out and told the world how they identify, guess what? Now the parasocial icons are literally targeting Manon and pressuring her into speaking about how she identifies just because because when the group first debuted, photos of Manon were circulating where she was in a photo shoot with her best friend Sophie, and the two shared a kiss. And because of that, ever since then, people have been speculating, making rumors again, labeling Manon without her even addressing anything.
Some icons saying, Manon, it's your turn now. Or please, Manon, come out. Or even, Manon, we know what you are. And Manon, next.
And Manon even had to take it upon herself to say to the icons that it is nobody's business, you guys.
Wait, your turn, Manon, someone said.
I will never talk about that. No, she won't. Because it ain't your business.
I've also seen many comments like this one where they list each member and their sexuality, saying Manon hasn't addressed, which to me sort of implies that some people still feel entitled to even get an answer.
So again, just because you guys saw a few photos, that does not give you guys the right to try and label her in any type of way. And unfortunately, this same mentality of entitlement is starting to trickle down onto other members as well.
This comment reads, they gotten too comfortable after Laura came out, and it has 23,000 likes, you guys.
For example, Daniela has been seen feeling extremely uncomfortable whenever this topic comes around, and I really don't blame the girl.
Someone said these lesbians.
Guys, pause. I'm not gay, guys.
Oh.
Danny just said she's not gay.
I mean,
No, okay,
Danny's
enough with the gay
Danny's coming
allegations.
out.
I do not blame her. And honestly, one of the worst parts about this, you guys, is as soon as somebody has chosen to identify themselves, apparently they are not staying true to whatever that is. And this is something that apparently happens a lot. Like, for example, Megan, who has identified as being bi, now some people are claiming that she's not bi enough just because she was seen popping out with her boyfriend.
Assigning a sexuality to them is extremely wrong. And what's even worse is attacking them and their boyfriends for not fitting your fantasy. Because by assigning them a sexuality and expecting them to, fit into your fantasy, you are forming a parasocial relationship with them. And that's not cool.
Let these girls live their lives how they want to live their lives, and let's just focus on the music and what they have to offer on stage. But I'm mostly just concerned with the fact that the whole group is not fully LGBTQ, but a lot of people are trying to push that agenda onto them and push that image onto them, or want that to be their image essentially. And the reason why it seems like they might slowly be turning this into their entire personality is because of this one interview that I saw where the interviewer asked them a question, and that question was,
what is one song that makes you feel understood?
I'm really trying to think. I feel like there's definitely something.
Now, I think the question was dedicated to the group as a whole, like as one package. I don't think it was an individual question for every single one of them to answer and have a song that represents them or makes them feel seen individually.
Like our
theme song.
And so Megan then answered the question saying that Lunch by Billie Eilish would be that song.
Lunch by Billie Eilish. Lunch by Billie Eilish.
Personally, I did not know what that song meant at all, so I searched it up. And obviously, Lunch by Billie Eilish is a song basically talking about having feelings towards another girl and just kind of yearning for that girl. Daniela was seen in the back disagreeing with this, kind of saying like, no, I don't think so.
Lunch by Billie Eilish.
No.
Lunch Billie So many rumors.
But they did end up running with that answer as a group. But if we're being so honest, you guys, if we're being so for real, that song does not represent the entire group. And I just think that was a clear, evident moment of them basically making it their entire personality, when that is not the case for pretty much half of the group. And I will even go as far to say, you guys, if all 6 members were fully straight, if they picked a song that was all about men and all about chasing a man or yearning for a man or thinking about a man, most people would comment and say that they seem like a very male-centered group. Everybody would be confused why the song they chose about what makes them feel seen would be about yearning for a man. It would just seem like a very out-of-place answer and would not do the group justice at all. So I just think it's very interesting that some people would not see an issue with this, them choosing a song like Lunch that doesn't really do much for the group in general. I think if they wanted to choose the perfect song that makes them feel seen, it would be something that talks about, their pursuit as singers, their pursuit of wanting to be in the music industry and be performers. A lot of them had a very lengthy career since childhood of being in that world, of pursuing music, doing music on their own time, having gigs left and right, working overtime since they were yay big. Okay, so I just think that a song that makes them feel seen would be that type of song. That would have just made so much more sense in my personal opinion. So now that we've established the very parasocial behavior and toxic behavior of some of the icons, one thing that I will debunk that has been talked about within the icon community is whether or not the girls are queer baiting, and they've been hit with a lot of queer baiting allegations allegations. So these internet allegations only started after this performance at the festival Lollapalooza, where Manon and Lara had this moment on stage. Now, if the entire group played into this on stage, I can understand the sentiment, but Lara did take it upon herself to address that, and she did say herself that it wouldn't make sense for one to queerbait when they are quite literally queer. So that is just that. I'm gonna put a pin in it, okay? So with all that being said, you guys, that's pretty much all I've noticed and observed with the icons, and some of them being extremely parasocial. I think it's great and all that there's this sense of relatability, but at the end of the day, I just don't think it's fair to try and shove an agenda onto this group and label them a certain way when that's just not the case for everybody. The group being allies and supporting the LGBTQ community is obviously a great thing that is very normal at the end of the day.
What is your message to the gays?
We love the gays!
And I think for some icons who are members of that community, if they see themselves in Lara and Megan and have that representation, that is great for them. But that does not mean we should be shoving it down everybody else's throats. Does not mean we should be trying to paint everybody else the same way. So with all that being said, you guys, that is all for this week's video. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about this whole situation, what you guys think about Catseye, what you guys think about the icons. If you haven't checked them out, definitely go and do so. They are truly talented girls who deserve a lot of success. I see so much potential in them. And like usual, don't forget to show some love on the way out. Like, comment, and subscribe. And I'ma catch y'all in the next one. Peace.